A Billionaire's Reincarnation. Chapter 1. Ouch, why is my head so dizzy? Chen Haoxian swayed around on his feet at a strange pace, no different from a drunk person. Brother Xian, are you alright? Don't scare me. Whoa. A girl with delicate features but a pimple on her face saw that Chen Haoxian was about to fall over, so she reached out to help Chen Haoxian and cried out for him in tears. Not far away, a group of men and women in school uniforms were looking over at Chen Haoxian and laughing. Zhu Tian, you're so good, you really got thrown. It turned out that this group of students were betting on whether Zhu Tian could hit Chen Haoxian with an apple, and Zhu Tian didn't know what kind of luck he had and was hit by him in one go. A few minutes later, Chen Haoxian's head finally became less dizzy, and he finally saw the person who was helping him, a girl with beautiful features, clear and bright pupils, curved willow eyebrows, long eyelashes that trembled slightly, a small and delicate nose, and thin lips as delicate as rose petals, but she was full of pimples, and the pimples on her face completely concealed her beauty. A breeze blew. Chen Haoxian was stunned. Why was there a breeze in his lab? He looked around, a lush green lawn, groups of students playing on the lawn, young teenagers playing basketball on the court, and a tall school building. This was the campus, right? Isn't he in the lab? What brings you to campus all of a sudden? Chen Yuna saw Chen Haoxian frowning and looking around. She thought Chen Haoxian wanted to find the person who threw him with an apple. She knew that the person who threw Chen Haoxian was Zhu Tian's group. Zhu Tian and the others were school thugs. She didn't want Chen Haoxian to reason with Zhu Tian and the others, so Chen Yuna saw that Chen Haoxian was fine. She pulled Chen Haoxian and said in a delicate voice, "Brother Xian, let's go." Chen Yuna pulled Chen Haoxian to leave, but she didn't. She looked back and her brother Xian was looking at her with a strange look. "Brother Xian, are you alright?" Chen Yuna asked with concern, her eyes fogging up again. "Who are you? Why am I here?" Chen Haoxian asked with a face full of questions. He remembered that he was obviously in the lab studying a bead with energy, then the bead emitted an intense light. After that he came to his senses and arrived here for no reason. He really couldn't understand why. Brother Hen, you don't even remember me. Chen Yuna's heart is like being pierced by a sword, as painful as incomparable. She and Chen Haoxian grew up together as childhood sweethearts, elementary school together, junior high school together, even the university are together, and they have always been the same class to go to school, every day morning and evening get along, but now Chen Haoxian actually asked her who is she. Chen Yuna was really sad, her tears flowed uncontrollably. When Chen Haoxian saw that Chen Yuna was crying, he got nervous. Chen Haoxian was not afraid of anything, what he was most afraid of was a woman's tears. "Hey, don't you cry. I'm not bullying you, why are you crying? I just want to ask you something. If you don't want to answer my question, you don't have to answer, I won't force you." Chen Haoxian saw that the girl in front of him was actually crying from the question he asked. His heart panicked. He was afraid of the woman's tears, so he even waved his hand to explain. At this time, in the distance, Zhu Tian and his group walked to the side of Chen Haoxian. Zhu Tian bullishly pushed Chen Haoxian's shoulder, arrogantly laughed. "Chen Haoxian, I didn't think your head was really hard, the apple I threw so hard hit you alright." Chen Yuna saw Zhu Tian and the others coming over. She no longer cared if Chen Haoxian remembered her or not. She dragged Chen Haoxian away forcefully. Humiliating people for fun. How could Zhu Tian and the others just let Chen Haoxian and the others leave so easily? Zhu Tian waved his big hand, and the few boys behind him immediately surrounded Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna. "Chen Haoxian, what did I say to you before, don't you remember? Then I'll repeat it again. I once told you that if I see you once, I'll hit you once. Today you're not so lucky to have me meet you, come on. Accept my brutality." Zhu Tian rubbed his palm after saying that, approaching Chen Haoxian with an evil expression. Although Chen Haoxian was still a little confused, but he wasn't so confused that he didn't even know that people wanted to beat him up. He was the chief professor of the future century, the military's technological leader, and had made many great contributions to the country. Everyone who saw him needed to treat him with courtesy, even the president was no exception. But now this male student in front of him was trying to teach him a lesson. This was still a big deal. If he didn't fight back, then he wouldn't be the one who was called the crazy professor. When Zhu Tian came to a stop half a meter away from Chen Haoxian, he raised his hand and tried to slap Chen Haoxian. In Zhu Tian's eyes, Chen Haoxian was a coward who was afraid of causing trouble. In Chen Haoxian, Zhu Tian couldn't find any reason for Chen Haoxian to dare to resist, so Zhu Tian had no defense at all. Chen Haoxian was a professor, but he was also a soldier, and no one in the army could beat him because he relied on his clever mind to study the sources of power and various fighting techniques, making him a lonely and defeated figure. Now someone wanted to flatten him. How could he not resist? Chen Haoxian's right hand fist attacked Zhu Tian's stomach, then 2 feet, soared up into the air. Both hands quickly held Zhu Tian's head, the knee of the right foot forward Zhu Tian's forehead. A muffled bang, Chen Haoxian's knee rammed into Zhu Tian's forehead. Chen Haoxian's these actions are as fast as lightning, flowing and unrestrained, all at once, simply cool dumb. Up. Zhu Tian kept retreating, his eyes were dazzled at the moment, and finally Zhu Tian could no longer hold on to the ground with a bang. This fall directly made him unconscious. The entire audience was shocked. Chen Haoxian was a famous wimp. Everyone dared to bully him because he was really useless and too cowardly. But now he had actually beaten Zhu Tian, the bullying big brother of Xinjiang City University, to the ground in just a short moment, and Zhu Tian hadn't even had a chance to fight back. No, it should be said that he had been knocked unconscious. This kind of thing made the people present unable to react for a moment. Chen Haoxian looked at his hands. This was a pair of hands with 10 fingers that were long and smooth and tender. This was not his hands, although his hands were also 10 fingers long. They were definitely not as smooth and delicate as they were now, and he could feel himself gasping for air. His knees were aching. When did his body become so bad? Chen seemed to have thought of something. He looked down at his body. He was wearing a school uniform, jeans that were almost whitewashed, and a pair of black sneakers. This was definitely not him, because he had never worn such shabby clothes, let alone clothes that bad. He could be sure that this body was definitely not his, so how could he be in this body? Chapter 2. The first to react, as soon as she sobered up, she pulled Chen Haoxian desperately ran outside the school. It is now noon, in a little while we'll be in class, but Chen Yuna cannot manage so much. Absenteeism is absenteeism, better than being bullied by Zhu Tian and the others. The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the road, the vehicles that are only available in the 21st century, which are coming and going on the highway. Zhu Tian's little brother didn't dare to go after Chen Haoxian. Just now Chen Haoxian's greatness they have seen. In an instant they took care of the boss they used to worship, such a deep hidden person. They don't dare to provoke and can't afford to provoke. Boss, boss, you wake up. Zhu Tian's little brother kept calling out loudly as he shook Zhu Tian. Zhu Tian slowly opened his eyes. He was confused. What just happened? Why did I just see Chen Haoxian do it to me? Zhu Tian still didn't believe that he was knocked unconscious by Chen Haoxian, which didn't want him to. He had been bullying Chen Haoxian for over a year, and in all that time he had only seen Chen Haoxian hide, but he had never seen Chen Haoxian dare to fight back. Boss, just now Chen Haoxian really attacked you and was very powerful. We just wanted to help and he ran away, otherwise we will definitely fix him badly. Zhu Tian's younger brothers had angry expressions. They were tongue-in-cheek. Chen Haoxian didn't leave immediately after knocking their boss unconscious. They had plenty of time to stop Chen Haoxian, but none of them dared to stop Chen Haoxian. Zhu Tian swayed and stood up, pointing at his younger brother and yelling loudly, "So many of you couldn't keep a single loser. You followed me for so many years for nothing. What are you still standing here for? Don't give chase yet." Zhu Tian's little brother saw their boss angry, forced to only chase in the direction where Chen Haoxian and the others had just left. As they chased they grumbled in their hearts, saying that we are useless, then you are not even more useless, and all of a sudden you were knocked out by Chen Haoxian, the trash. Chen Yuna pulled Chen Haoxian out of the campus and ran left through the right for nearly 20 minutes before stopping. There are no tall buildings Daxia, only tiled houses made of tiles and bricks. Brother Xian, let's go home, we won't go to class today. Chen Yuna panted to Chen Haoxian. It was the first time she had grown up to run that long continuously. Home? Our home? Where is it? Chen Haoxian also asked, panting. He had just run for 20 minutes, which made his body very tired. Since he became the chief professor tired, this feeling he almost forgot, because after becoming the chief professor he relied on various methods to make his body incomparably strong, plus he did not have to go to the battlefield, so in the past he could not find the word tired on him at all. The feeling of tiredness made him believe even more that he had been not that crazy professor anymore. That's it? Brother Hen, you haven't even forgotten our home, have you? Chen Yuna pointed to a shabby tiled house in front. Chen Haoxian felt a little dizzy. This was his home. How could it be so shabby? What was the difference between this and a thatched house? Chen Yuna walked to the front door of the tiled room, took out the key from her pocket, and with a click, the door was opened by Chen Yuna. Chen Yuna turned around and waved to Chen Haoxian. Brother Xian, why are you still standing there? Come on in. Chen walked in, and as soon as he was inside Chen said to Yuna, excuse me, can you lend me a mirror? Mirror? Don't you have one in your room, Brother Hen? Chen Yuna pointed to Chen Haoxian's room. Strange, she felt that her brother Xian was very unusual today. After being smashed by Zhu Tian with an apple, it was like her brother Xian didn't recognize her. Then he knocked out the bully Zhu Tian 3 times like a martial arts expert. Now he even forgot their home, his room. Did he lose his memory from being smashed by the apple? Chen Haoxian walked into the room that Chen Yuna pointed out. Once inside he found a mirror the size of a basketball by the window. Chen Haoxian picked up the mirror. When he saw himself in the mirror, it startled him. He stroked his face and said to himself, my God! Is that me? The glossy white face with a cold, angular handsomeness, dark, deep eyes with a charming hue, thick eyebrows, a high nose, and stunningly beautiful lips, all of them flaunted nobility and elegance. Coupled with the fact that Chen Haoxian was now plainly dressed, which gave Chen Haoxian a natural beauty, even Chen Haoxian himself was stunned by his own appearance. Chen Yuna walked into Chen Haoxian's room. She had many questions in her heart at this time. Why did her brother Xian not know her when she was at school? Why did her brother Xian know martial arts to knock Zhu Tian unconscious? Why did her brother Xian even forget about their home? What's wrong with you today, Brother Hen? Chen Yuna's eyes were red as she asked to Chen Haoxian, who was looking in the mirror. Chen Haoxian put down the mirror and turned his head to see Chen Yuna's red eyes and that worried look. Chen Haoxian didn't know what to say to this strange girl. He could feel that this body of his had an extraordinary relationship with this girl. Chen Haoxian's head was rapidly spinning, and suddenly his mind flashed. There, since he didn't know why he had become like this, he could simply pretend to have amnesia. I think I've lost my memory. I've forgotten everything, including myself. I can't recall all my previous memories. Can you tell me? Chen Haoxian pretended to be very serious to Chen Yuna. You said you lost your memory. Chen Yuna's small hand covered her small mouth and exclaimed in shock. Well, it's true, I'm not lying to you, but although I can't remember the past, I can feel that I'm familiar with you. Chen Haoxian Deo. Chen Yuna's heart couldn't help but feel sweet when she heard Chen Haoxian's words, and Chen Yuna comforted Chen Haoxian for a while before slowly telling Chen Haoxian about the past of his current body. It was 2 hours. After 2 hours of telling, Chen Haoxian finally became clear roughly. It turned out that this body's name was called Chen Haoxian as well as his name. It seemed that this was a kind of fate. He also learned that he was now a person and a family, because a few years ago this body's brother and him split up. His parents were living with his brother, because his brother was more capable than him. He opened a small shopping mall in the county and bought a small van. His parents were people who loved money, of course they chose to live with his brother. Chapter 3. It's good to be alone, there aren't that many worries, you can eat and sleep whenever you want, no one cares. Chen Haoxian's heart was happy. Looking at the girl in front of him who grew up with him as a childhood friend, Chen Haoxian was very touched. Chen Haoxian already knew her name was Chen Yuna, she was his neighbor's daughter, and he had spent all these years with this girl in the same pain. Chen Haoxian held Chen Yuna's small hand, looked deep into Chen Yuna's eyes, and gently said, "Nana, thank you for helping me all these years. Don't worry, I will definitely not let anyone bully you again in the future." Chen Yuna nodded her head in a moved manner, I believe in Brother Xian's words. Chen Haoxian observed the house he was currently in. The lime painted on the walls had fallen off 78 times, which made the house look very much like the same age. The room could be said to be a house, there wasn't even an electrical appliance, the most valuable thing belonged to the gas stove used to cook the food, the rest of the things, it could be said to be worthless. This tiled house was a house that Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna shared, and they only needed to pay 100 yuan a month as rent, which was very cheap. The reason why Chen Haoxian and the others rented a house outside the door was all because they had to make money. They would go out and find things to do as soon as they didn't have classes, help wash dishes, go to temporary jobs, find hourly jobs at domestic helpers, go to a nearby small manufacturer to get some parts that needed to be processed back to be processed, or work as tutors, etc. Whatever they could make money and not break the law, they did. It's all a matter of life and death. Chen Haoxian and the others don't go to make money who will pay for their college education. And Chen Yuna's father's health is not good, can't do heavy work, her mother does all the heavy work at home, her mother rely on the family's acre of land, how can she afford to pay for her college education? So she needs to be self-reliant to earn money for her own education and also needs to give her family a few $100s a month to buy medicine for her father. She is a poor child just like Chen Haoxian, and both of them need to fight for their future. Chen Yuna was worried that Chen Haoxian's mind would be left behind, so she forced Chen Haoxian to go to the hospital for a checkup, took an ultrasound, spent $100, nothing happened. As to why Chen Haoxian lost his memory, the doctor also said he did not know. To celebrate the fact that Chen Haoxian had no after effects, Chen Yuna bought a kilogram of pork on the way back, ready to give Chen Haoxian a good tonic. Back home, Chen Yuna was like a virtuous wife, making a fire and cooking. And Chen Haoxian, he sat still in the living room, he was thinking about how to live in the future, although he is not afraid of hardship, but he does not want to live a life with the last meal without the next meal, he must think of a way to make money out. He wanted to change his current situation, earn some money to live in a better house, and most importantly he wanted to buy something to make beauty products and cure the scars and pimples on Chen Yuna's face. At this time, Chen Yuna came out from the kitchen with a fragrant delicacy, just in time to hear Chen Haoxian's words. Chen Yuna asked curiously, "Brother Xian, what are you thinking about?" "It's nothing, just thinking about how we should make money." Chen Haoxian Deo. Chen Yuna put the cooked food on the table and then said to Chen Haoxian, "Aren't we making enough money now? What's the matter? Do you need money badly? I've got $1,000 here if you want it, or you can have it." "No, I'm just thinking randomly, just looking at what to do to make more money." Chen Haoxian Deo knew that Chen Yuna's situation was even more miserable than his, and he wouldn't take a penny of Chen Yuna's money even if she starved, because her money was intended to pay for her brother's schooling. "Oh, then eat your fill and think again." Yuna Chen smiled sweetly. Chen Haoxian shared a room with Chen Yuna, and Chen Haoxian had a great advantage because Chen Yuna helped him with his laundry and cooking, and even his job was helped by Chen Yuna to find him. Chen Haoxian was touched in his heart, and he vowed in his heart to make this poor girl live a happy life, because just like the Chen Haoxian before, he already considered this girl as his sister. Nana, your cooking is so delicious, whoever marries you in the future, then he must be the happiest man in the world. Chen Haoxian gobbled down the food that Chen Yuna had made. It was the first time in his life that he had eaten such delicious food. He recalled the food that was almost like fertilizer in the future century. His heart brightened up a lot. He figured out that there was nothing bad in the 21st century, other than the technology being a bit poor. Everything else was good. The food was natural, the air was clear, and there were simple people. It was definitely a good century to enjoy life. I'm so ugly, it's a wonder anyone would marry me. Chen Yuna joked with a smile. Chen Haoxian stopped gobbling and seriously said to Chen Yuna, Nana, I actually have a way to make you become a beautiful woman, because your features are very good looking, just a lot of pimples on your face. Don't worry, when I make a medicine to treat your skin, you will become a super beautiful woman. Then I'll wait for you to succeed in making me a beautiful woman, but for now you'd better eat fast. We'll have to go to Mr. Li's house for tutoring later. Chen Yuna smiled at Chen Haoxian. Doing tutoring? Did I used to tutor? Chen Haoxian asked curiously. Forget about your lost memory. In fact, the two of us often work as tutors. We can earn tens of dollars an hour. It's a very good job. Some time ago, Mr. Huang hired us to tutor at his house. If we teach well, he will hire us to teach for a month. The price is $50 an hour. I will teach her daughter to play the piano, you will teach his son to read. Because his daughter's grades are very good, so his daughter only learns to play the piano, and you don't know how to play the piano, so I have to teach. Chen Yuna reminded. Oh, then let's hurry up and finish eating. Chen couldn't wait. He wanted to earn some money quickly now to buy some decent clothes and make medicine to treat acne. After eating, Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna both went out. Chen Yuna took Chen Haoxian to a luxurious apartment according to the address written on a small slip of paper. Mr. Wang's home lives in room 301 of this building in front. Let's go up there. Chen Yuna pointed to a building in front of her. Chen Haoxian responded. Arriving at room 301, Chen Yuna pressed the doorbell, ringing the bell. And soon the door was opened and out came a voluptuous beautiful woman. It's you guys. Come on in. Miss Li, hello. Chen Yuna sweetly said to the beautiful woman, Li Yuzhen. Out of courtesy, Chen Haoxian took a step forward and naturally extended his right hand. Li Yuzhen saw that Chen Haoxian wanted to shake hands with him, so she immediately extended her white, jade right hand to shake hands with Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian's smile, Miss Li, hello, I am Chen Haoxian, here to be a tutor for your children. Seeing Chen Haoxian acting so gentlemanly, Chen Yuna was dumbfounded. In the past, Chen Haoxian was very shy and rarely greeted others, much less be as gentlemanly as now. Chapter 4. To say how Chen Yuna had found this tutoring job with such a high pay, it was thanks to Chen Haoxian's good looks, because Li Yuzhen had only hired them as tutors for her children after seeing Chen Haoxian's good looks on tutor.com. Good looks were sometimes that useful. Oh, you look much better in real life than in the pictures. Come on in. Both my kids are at home just waiting for you. Li Yuzhen smiled at Chen Haoxian, and afterwards sidled up and motioned for Chen Haoxian and the others to enter the house. After entering the house, Li Yuzhen called out her children and introduced them to Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna. It was originally Chen Yuna who taught Li Yuzhen's daughter Huang Meilin to play the piano, but she didn't expect Huang Meilin to force Chen Haoxian to teach her how to play the piano. Linlin, he doesn't know how to play the piano, so why don't I teach you? Chen Yuna persuaded Huang Meilin. Don't lie to me, you're all college students, how can anyone not play the piano nowadays? I don't care, I want him to teach me, or I won't hire you guys. Huang Meilin petulantly, she was dressed very fashionable, white shirt, short denim skirt, Don't look at her, only 14 years old, but the charm is no less than mature girls, willow eyebrows and big eyes, and a baby face, very attractive to men. Lin, if you don't behave, your allowance will be cancelled next week. Li Yuzhen snapped at her daughter with a stern face. In fact, she knew her daughter's little heart. She must have fallen for Chen Haoxuan. It's okay, I'll be the one to teach him. Chen Haoxian smiled. After hearing Chen Yuna's words, she tugged on Chen Haoxuan's clothes and whispered, "You wouldn't, would you?" The old me, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure I can play the piano, and I play it very well. Chen Haoxuan similarly answered Chen Yuna's question in a low voice. All right then. Just let you teach Huang Meilin and I'll teach Huang Zhifeng. Chen Yuna was helpless. Chen walked up to Huang Meilin and smiled, "Beautiful little princess, please take me to the place where you practice playing the piano." Too good. Huang Meilin cheered happily and brought Chen Haoxian to her room. Arriving at Huang Meilin's room, Chen Haoxian felt like he was in a pink world. The walls, the bed, the wardrobe, the table, and even the floor were all pink. Huang Meilin's room was quite large. The piano was placed by the balcony of her room, and the piano was no exception pink. Chen Haoxian walked to the piano and sat down, looking up to Huang Meilin, who was staring at him, and asked, "What do you want to learn?" Huang Meilin did not reply to Chen Haoxian's words, but instead put her hands on her chin and asked Chen Haoxian with a smiling face, "Do you have a girlfriend?" "No." Chen Haoxian replied. Hearing Chen Haoxian say that he didn't have a girlfriend, Huang Meilin's eyes immediately showed joy as she asked again, "Then how do you feel about me?" Chen Haoxian was speechless. Did she invite him to be a tutor or a blind date? "You're cute and lively, a very nice sunny girl. I've finished my evaluation, now you can tell me, what do you want to learn, right?" Chen Haoxian Deo. "I can play the piano, but I want to learn how to play the best sounding method." Huang Meilin's delicate voice. Chen Haoxian tried the sound of the piano and found that it was fine, all very standard, so Chen Haoxian said to Huang Meilin, "Then you listen carefully to the song I'm playing and tell me how it feels." Chen Haoxian finished placing his hands on the piano. The beautiful piano sound rang out leisurely. The high notes were like big pearls and small pearls falling into jade pans. The low notes were like winter thunder rolling. Suddenly Chen Haoxuan held down a few keys at the same time, and the piano emitted a sound as if the drums of an ancient battle had begun to charge. Then Chen Haoxian's fingers danced on the piano keys as if they were dancing on the keys, faster and faster. The sound changed and became imposing, with waves that were as continuous as an overwhelming volley of mountains. By the end, Chen Haoxian swept his right hand from head to tail, swishing it around in a very cool manner. "How do you feel after listening to this song?" Chen Haoxian smiled to Huang Meilin and asked. Huang Meilin looked at Chen Haoxian with adoring eyes and said, "It's so nice, I feel so excited and happy." At this time, the sound of popping applause suddenly came from outside the room. Chen Haoxian turned his head to see a middle-aged man with glasses and wearing a suit clapping his hands and walked in. Well, it's so good to play, even a piano master couldn't play such a beautiful song." Huang Weikan was happy. Behind Huang Weikan was Li Yuzhen as well as Chen Yuna and Huang Zhifeng, who were all attracted by the sound of Chen Haoxuan's piano. "Right, how come I haven't heard this song before?" Li Yuzhen asked curiously. He, "I'm sorry, this is a song I wrote myself, so it's not surprising that you guys haven't heard of it." Chen Haoxuan smiled. This song was written when he was in military school in the future century. Huang Weikan's heart was ecstatic. He didn't expect that he had hired a tutor to teach his daughter, who was even better than a piano master, and the price was only $50 an hour. Such a good thing would even happen to him. It seemed that the heavens were favoring him. Chen Yuna didn't expect Chen Haoxian to play the piano so well. He suspected that the previous Chen Haoxian had been pretending to be a tiger, otherwise he lost his memory. Why would he suddenly become such a gentleman and play the piano so well? In order to get Chen Haoxian to teach his daughter seriously, Huang Weicheng offers to pay Chen Haoxian $500 an hour, and Chen Yuna takes advantage of Chen Haoxian. Huang Weicheng gives her $100 an hour. At 10 p.m., Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna came out from the luxurious apartment. Both of them were so happy because they had made a lot of money today. Chen Haoxian made $1,500, while Chen Yuna made $300. Brother Xian, thanks to you today, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to earn so much money. Chen Yuna was happy to Chen Haoxian. That's right, you didn't even look at who I am. Chen Haoxian joked, while he secretly said in his heart, finally, I have money to buy new clothes. Brother Xian, let's go to the delicious restaurant. Chen Yuna to Chen Haoxian. Yes, we earned money today, we should go to a restaurant for a good meal. Chen Haoxian was happy, but what Chen Yuna said next made him laugh and cry. What Have you forgotten what I told you today? We go to the delicious restaurant every night around 11 p.m. to help the boss wash the dishes, and the boss pays us $500 a month. Chen Yuna explained. Chen now finally knew why his hands were so smooth and delicate, it was washing the plates all day long. Nana, listen to me, I've lost my memory now, but I'm confident that I can let you live a happy life, so let's not go washing dishes Chapter 5. But, Chen Yuna didn't know how to explain to Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian was one person to feed the whole family, but she was different from Chen Haoxian. Her father had a heart condition and needed to take medicine every day to keep him alive, while her brother and she both needed to study. It could be said that she was supporting a family by herself. If she didn't go to work hard to earn money, then her family would collapse. Don't be any buds, listen to me right. Now let's go to the mall and buy some decent clothes. Chen Haoxian didn't care if Chen Yuna answered or not, he pulled Chen Yuna and left. Chen didn't go to a high-end clothing store. It wasn't that he didn't want to buy designer clothes, but he didn't have that much money to buy name brands. Chen Haoxian with Chen Yuna in the downtown shuttle. In the end Chen Haoxian bought 2 tight shirt and 2 tight trousers and 2 pairs of shoes. The quality is not bad, also cheap, only spent $1,000. In addition Chen Haoxian also bought a dress for Chen Yuna. The next day, Chen Haoxian woke up early. After washing his face and brushing his teeth, he began to put on the clothes he bought yesterday, then got some hair wax on his hands, rubbed his hands against each other, then went to his head, then took a comb, get it done. An energetic and incredibly handsome sunshine boy appeared. Looking at himself in the mirror, Chen Haoxian smiled to himself, that's what makes me look like a human being. After eating the breakfast cooked by Chen Yuna, Chen Haoxian followed Chen Yuna to the University of Xinjiang City with great anticipation. Chen Haoxian was eager to see what the campus of the 21st century was really like. In front of Xinjiang City University, there were a few girls gathering together to chat. Suddenly a girl exclaimed, "Look, isn't that beautiful boy Chen Haoxian? He looks so manly today, yo. Ugh dash, it would be nice if he really is manly." Another girl sighed. Chen Haoxian was recognized as the beautiful man in their hearts, but unfortunately, the beautiful man in their hearts didn't dare to resist even being bullied. "Sisters, let's go flirt with him, okay?" One of the girls suggested. Flirting with Chen Haoxian things they often do, that's why the previous Chen Haoxian so shy, it's all because of these lecherous girls. Chen Haoxian, who was looking around to enjoy the scenery of the 21st century, was suddenly surrounded by a group of girls. Chen Haoxian's reaction was quick, immediately made a pose ready to fight. But did not expect this group of girls very gentle wooing him, pinching his face, touching his waist, holding his hand. "Chen Haoxian, you're so handsome today, it's simply better that you keep dressing like this from now on." "Chen Haoxian, my sister is very lonely these days, why don't you be my sister's boyfriend?" "Chen Haoxian, I've actually had a crush on you for a long time." This group of girls kept teasing Chen Haoxian. So the previous Chen Hoxuan had so many suitors at school. Chen Haoxian's heart was dark. Chen Hoxuan wasn't a decent man, so many girls were around him and were touching him everywhere, so it was common sense that he should touch back. Wow dash, your body is really good, wow your fierce is so big yo, your ass is really plump, at a glance you know that it is well bred, feed. Don't you run away. I'd like to talk to you guys some more. Chen Haoxian looked at those girls who had already run far away and said to himself, what a loss, they took so much advantage of me, I only took that advantage of them and they ran away, what a cheapskate. Next to Chen Hoxuan, Chen Yuna covered her small mouth and laughed, I didn't expect you who lost your memory to be so bold, it used to be others who molested you, but now you are molesting others instead. At this time a group of male students came towards Chen Haoxian, the leader was Zhu Tian who was knocked unconscious by Chen Haoxian yesterday. Zhu Tian was waiting for Chen Haoxian in front of the university with his little brother very early in the morning in order to take revenge. Chen Haoxian. Zhu Tian called out Chen Hoxuan's name almost as if he was bellowing out. Chen Hoxuan and Chen Yuna turned their heads in unison, and when Chen Yuna saw that it was Zhu Tian, she naturally pulled Chen Hoxuan to run, an action she didn't know how many times she had done. Slow down, what's meant to come will always come, it's not a good idea to keep running away. Nana, you go to school first, don't worry I'll be fine. Chen Hoxuan gently to Chen Yuna, Chen Hoxuan wanted to get rid of this trouble Zhu Tian now, the easiest way was to hit Zhu Tian afraid. But you. Chen Yuna didn't trust Chen Haoxian to face Zhu Tian and the other thugs alone. Don't worry. I promise I will return safely. Chen Hoxuan patted his chest and assured. Zhu Tian also didn't want to bully a weak woman, he was very sensible and asked his little brother to let Chen Yuna leave, and Chen Yuna left 3 steps back. Brothers, catch Chen Hoxuan inside the alley in front of me, I want to fix him up. Zhu Tian roared in a very generous manner. The 2 strong boys racked Chen Haoxian to an alley not far ahead. Chen Haoxian didn't resist, and he was more than eager to go to an empty alley. Chen didn't worry about his safety, although he didn't have a strong body like future Century, but his fighting skills, fighting experience, incomparably rich, dealing with these few hairless college students is not a handful. In a cul-de-sac, Zhu Tian coldly said to Chen Hoxuan, I give you 2 choices, one is to take off your clothes and drive around Xinshan City University, the other is for me to beat you into a cripple. Let me tell you Zhu Tian, I am no longer the old Chen Hoxuan, you better choose to shake hands with me, because becoming my enemy is a terrifying thing, he will make you live in constant fear. Chen Hoxuan was cold and icy, his murderous aura was getting stronger and stronger, as if he was almost unable to resist the urge to strike. You bastard, who do you think you are? Brothers, give me a hard lesson for him. Zhu Tian roared angrily. Chen Hoxuan, who had less guts than a mouse, dared to talk to him like that and threatened him. He was really pissed off, he decided to waste Chen Hoxuan today. This time Zhu Tian had learned his lesson, he let his little brother go on, while he cheered him on from behind. Chen Haoxian did not want to spend his time on these minions because it was almost time for class, so Chen Haoxian stomped on the fence with his left foot, then stomped on the right fence with his right foot, and he stepped over the top of Zhu Tian's little brother. Zhu Tian saw that Chen Haoxian had such a powerful skill, now he didn't dare to underestimate, and he immediately put up his 12 spirits. Chen Hoxuan reached Zhu Tian in the blink of an eye. Zhu Tian immediately raised his fist to hit Chen Hoxuan's head. Chen Hoxuan's head deflected and dodged Zhu Tian's sharp punch. Chen Hoxuan's right hand very unceremoniously slammed Zhu Tian with a cracking sound that echoed through the alley. Chapter 6. As soon as the voice passed, Zhu Tiantan felt his face flaming hot and painful, he was really about to faint, he would rather Chen Hoxuan hit him elsewhere than have Chen Hoxuan slap his face in front of his so little brother, and his image was all gone with this slap. Chen Hoxuan, I'm going to kill you. Zhu Tian fiercely jumped at Chen Haoxian while his little brother also attacked Chen Haoxian from behind. Today, if I, Chen Haoxuan, don't beat you all down, my surname won't be Chen. Chen Haoxian also got angry. Ah! A creepy scream came out from the hutong, descending to the point where the residents who lived in the hutong didn't dare to go out. When the scream stopped, there were 10 student thugs in the dead alley who were lying on the ground and wailing, while Chen Haoxuan was slowly approaching Zhu Tian with a brick in his hand. At this moment, Zhu Tian no longer had the courage to flatten Chen Haoxuan, all because of Chen Haoxuan's bravery, and he regretted messing with this strange monster Chen Haoxuan. "You, don't come over, don't come over." Zhu Tian kept backing away, his voice carrying a pleading tone. "I told you that becoming my enemy is a terrifying thing, so just admit your misfortune." Chen Haoxian sneered. Zhu Tian saw that Chen Haoxuan had no intention of letting him go, so he turned around and fled, but how could Chen Haoxuan let him have his way? Chen Haoxuan quickly caught up with Zhu Tian and put Zhu Tian down with his feet. Ouch! Zhu Tian screamed as his body lost his balance and fell to the ground. "Next time remember to see me, you better take a detour," Chen Haoxuan said, and the brick in his hand slammed into Zhu Tian's head. With a muffled thud, the brick splintered in all directions, while blood flowed out of Zhu Tian's head. Ah! Zhu Tian's head hurt so much that he rolled around on the ground. The reason why Chen Haoxuan dared to use the brick to shoot Zhu Tian's head was because he had calculated that the brick was very light and had many cracks, and at a glance, one could tell that it was a very poor quality brick that would shatter if it collided with a slightly hard object, otherwise Chen Haoxuan wouldn't have dared to use it to shoot someone. Chen Haoxian patted the dust on his hands, hummed a leisurely song and walked out of the alley, heading to the University of Xinjiang City. Chen Yuna had been waiting for Chen Haoxian at the entrance of the university, and when she saw Chen Haoxian leisurely walking towards the university, her tense heart was finally relieved and a sweet smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Chen Haoxian walked up to Chen Yuna and smiled, "See? I told you I'd be fine. Where are Jushin and the others?" Chen Yuna asked curiously. According to the previous situation, Chen Haoxuan should have been beaten up by Zhu Tian and the others before letting Chen Haoxuan go, but today Chen Haoxuan didn't have anything wrong. They're all beaten down by me, and I'm sure they'll all take a detour when they see me in the future. Well, you don't have to ask me why I'm so good, because I don't know. Let's go. Let's go into the school, or we'll be late. Chen Haoxian Deo. Chen Haoxian was a student in Class 8 of the Sophomore Business Administration Department. Chen Haoxian didn't know how to get to the road. Luckily Chen Yuna was in the same class as him, so he followed Chen Yuna to Class 8. Before entering the classroom, Chen Haoxian heard the sentence, "Even if I like Chen Haoxian, I won't like you like this." Hearing this, Chen Haoxian pulled Chen Yuna, who was trying to enter the classroom. He wanted to see who liked him and said it so loudly, there must be something wrong with it. So Chen Haoxian passed through the door and observed the scene inside. He saw a pretty girl fighting with a handsome boy. These two people who were fighting were Zhou Kexin and He Haoming, the reason being that He Haoming had been pestering Zhou Kexin all day, and Zhou Kexin in a fit of anger said something that shocked the whole class. "What's so good about that poor man, other than having a little white face? He's a loser." He Haoming roared angrily. It would be fine if Zhou Kexin said someone else, but Zhou Kexin actually said that Chen Haoxuan was a trash. This wasn't a deliberate strike against him, saying that he couldn't even compare to a trash. "I just like him. What? He's poor, but he's honest, unlike some people who spend their days wooing and pretending to be disgustingly decent people." Zhou Kexin looked at He Haoming with a despicable look. "Yeah. You like Chan Ho Han, right? Then you prove it to me." He Haoming sneered, believing that Zhou Kexin had made such an excuse because he wanted to reject him. Chen Haoxuan, you come out." Zhou Kexin was also ruthless. She would rather people misunderstand that she liked Chen Haoxuan than be pestered by He Haoming all day. All of the students in Class 8 were looking for Chen Hoxuan, and one female student who was sitting at the front suddenly pointed at the door and exclaimed, "Look, there's Chen Hoxuan." Chen Huan, who had been discovered, pushed through the door like he knew nothing, and greeted the class with a smile. He, good morning everyone. I didn't hear anything just now, you guys keep talking ha. Chen Haoxian, come here. Zhou Kexin squealed to Chen Haoxian. If you tell me to come over, I'll come over ah. Then I'm not very ashamed. Chen Haoxian gave Zhou Kexin a glance. He already knew who this girl was because Chen Yuna had told him just outside the door. Chen Haoxian was angry that Zhou Kexin used him as a shield. He didn't care much now, but if it was the old Chen Haoxian, he would definitely be screwed over. You. Zhou Kexin was so angry by Chen Hoxuan that she couldn't say anything, and her plump rabbit was even about to burst his chest. Zhou Kexin was the flower of the University of Xinshan City, and there were thousands of people chasing her, but now that she was chasing Chen Haoxian backwards, Chen Haoxian was so disrespectful, and even though it was a fake chase, she was still very angry when she was rejected by Chen Haoxian. Ha, Kxian, I'll tell you. This guy doesn't know anything, he's just trash of the trash. You'd better choose me. I will give you happiness. He Haoming smiled to Zhou Kexin. After hearing He Haoming's words, Chen Hoxuan stopped following Chen Yuna to the last position and instead turned around and walked towards He Haoming's location. What? Do you want to flatten me or warn me ah? Ho Ho Ming saw Chen Haoxian walking towards him, so he mocked Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian walked up to Ho Ho Ming, his eyes stared at Ho Ho Ming and said coldly, just because I don't speak, doesn't mean I don't exist. I don't care about your business, yet you want to drag me in. Do you want to be my enemy? The disappearance on He Haoming's face disappeared when he saw Chen Haoming's eyes, and he even became nervous as he saw a strong murderous aura in Chen Haoming's eyes. Chapter 7. He Haoming wanted to say I didn't mean it, but the murderous aura he saw in Chen Hoxuan's eyes made him too scared to speak, and he was sure it was the most terrifying look he had ever seen in his life. Don't ever mess with me again. Chen Hoxuan glared at He Haoming and coldly said, after which he turned around and walked towards the last row of the classroom. Only once Chen Huan walked away did He Haoming return to normal. He sat paralyzed in his seat, recalling the strange feeling he had just had. He couldn't believe that a person's eyes could be so terrifying. Suddenly, He Haoming felt his forehead cool, and wiped it with his hand. It was cold sweat. He was actually scared to sweat. The more He Haoming thought about it, the more he felt Chen Haoming's terror. In fact, He Haoming had this feeling. Chen Hoxuan himself didn't know, although he was in a high position in the future century, but his eyes hadn't reached the level of making people tremble with fear. What was going on here? Was it the rebirth, or was it illuminated by the white light from the beads he had studied before his rebirth? Chen Haoxian and Chen Yuna sat in the last row of the classroom. Many students couldn't help but look over at Chen Haoxian. They all felt that Chen Haoxian was very strange today, not to mention that his outfit had changed a lot. What made them most curious was when Chen Haoxian's guts became so big that he even dared to threaten He Haoming, the son of a rich family. Zhou Kexin took a look at He Haoming, and after thinking about it, finally decided that it was better to use Chen Hoxuan as a shield. At least Chen Hoxuan wouldn't dare to take advantage of her. Zhou Kangzhen got up and walked towards the last row of seats, then sat down next to Chen Hoxuan. After sitting down, Zhou Kangzhen looked at He Haoming, who was already furiously purple, and smiled proudly. The entire class looked at Chen Hoxuan with envious eyes, all thinking that Chen Hoxuan had some kind of luck to make a school flower fall in love with him. He Haoming secretly cursed in his heart, humph, cheap asterisk people are capable of pretending for the rest of their lives. Sooner or later I'll crush you underneath me. The bell finally rang, and an old man with white hair walked in with a thick book, so there was no need to say that he was a teacher. The teacher began to talk incessantly on the podium, At first Chen Huan felt quite interesting, but in a few minutes, he felt very boring. He felt that this teacher's teaching was too superficial, not at all level, so Chen Huan simply lay down on the desk and began to date Zhou Gong's daughter. Zhou Kexin seems to be distracted. She from time to time secretly checked Chen Haoxian, who is sleeping on the desk. Chen Haoxian's head is inclined to her side, so she can clearly see Chen Haoxian's face. Zhou Kexin was the first time to look at Chen Haoxian in close proximity, and she now felt that Chen Haoxian was really handsome, with a glossy white face, penetrating and angular cold handsomeness, thick eyebrows, high nose, and beautiful lips. When she saw Chen Haoxian's beauty, an absurd thought appeared in her heart. She actually had the impulse to kiss Chen Haoxian. Even Chen Haoxian wants to kiss. There was another person who was just as absent-minded as Zhou Kexin. She was Chen Yuna. In fact, Chen Yuna had always liked Chen Haoxian. After all, they had played together since childhood, and that feeling had been deep to the bone. The reason for this is because of the fact that you can't afford to buy a new one. Now the flower of their class, who is also the school flower, Zhou Kexin, suddenly declares that she likes Chen Haoxian, and now she even takes the initiative to sit next to Chen Haoxian. She is sad, she is scared, she is worried that Chen Haoxian will leave her just because of Zhou Kexin. During this lesson, both Zhou Kexin and Chen Yuna did not hear what the teacher said, and they were both thinking. The bell rang, and when he heard the sound, Chen Haoxian woke up. He stood up and shouted loudly, "Butler Huang, help me make a cup of coffee." The students who were about to go out to play, as well as the teachers who hadn't gone out yet, all looked at Chen Haoxian in unison, and then a burst of laughter came out of the classroom. Ha ha ha, laughing to death, Chen Haoxian daydreaming, and Huang Butler to help me make a cup of coffee. I'm sure it's a rich man's dream. Chen looked at the class who was laughing to the point of slapping the desks, and the teacher who was laughing to the point of holding the wall. He was embarrassed. He had just dreamt that he was in the future century. Housekeeper Huang was his housekeeper in the future century. He was a beautiful woman. He usually liked to get up and have housekeeper Huang prepare a cup of coffee for him first, then he would drink it after brushing his teeth and washing his face. That's why he had just had that awkward side. He. Zhou Kexin, who was sitting next to Chen Haoxian, couldn't help but let out a silver bell-like laughter as she thought to herself that Chen Haoxian also had such a cute side. Chen Haoxian sat down awkwardly and looked at Zhou Kexin, who was still laughing with a straight face, and said, "Is it funny?" No, I just feel like you're cute." Zhou Kexin chuckled. Chen suddenly spoke loudly to Zhou Kexin, "Zhou Kexin, just die this way. I'm not going to like you." Zhou Kexin's smile instantly disappeared and was replaced by a face of resentment. She knew that Chen Haoxian was getting back at her, complaining that she shouldn't have made fun of him. She wanted to flatten Chen Haoxian badly, but she knew that wasn't going to happen, because He Haoming was still eyeing him there. "I'll endure, after He Haoming dies, see how I'll deal with you." Zhou Kexin's heart was dark. But Zhou Kexin's mouth said, "It's your business if you don't like me. I like you, it's my freedom. Then you stay away from me." Chen Haoxian was very disrespectful to Zhou Kexin, and he even deliberately spoke a little louder so that the class could hear. You. Zhou Kexin pointed at Chen Haoxian. At this moment she wanted to curse, but she had never cursed before. She didn't know how to curse properly. Zhou Kexin felt wronged. She had never been wronged like today since she was a child. Her own pretend confession was rejected by others without even thinking, her own initiative to approach, and she was also driven away by others. At the moment she felt like she was the most pitiful girl in the world. The more Zhou Kexin thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt, and finally she couldn't help but cry out, lying on her desk and crying sadly. "God!" Chen Haoxian was speechless. What the hell? If you bully me and I bully you and cry, is there no justice in the world? The teacher, who had not left yet, saw that Chen Haoxian had made his best student Zhou Kexin cry, and pointed at Chen Haoxian and shouted, "Chen Haoxian, you are so overbearing. I don't care how you bully the class monitor, if Zhou Kexin is still crying next holiday, you'll be punished. I'll ask Mr. Shen then, huh?" Chapter 8. Before Chen Haoxian was in a hurry, Chen Yuna became anxious first, and she hurriedly said to Chen Haoxian, "Brother Xian, hurry up and coax her so that she won't cry." "Why do I have to coax her? You don't know that when she says she likes me, she wants me to be her shield, and a woman like her, given to me, I don't want it either." Chen Haoxian was serious about Chen Yuna. "That teacher just now is our class teacher, if he gives you little shoes to wear, you'll have no hope for your diploma." Chen Yuna explained nervously. "He dares, if he gives me little shoes to wear, I want him to look good." Chen Haoxian snapped angrily. "Brother Xian, count me as begging you, just coax her." Chen Yuna took Chen Haoxian's hand and shook it around, spoiling it. "I can ignore anyone's words, but I will listen to my Nana." Chen Haoxian reached out and gently scraped the bridge of Chen Yuna's nose, smiling. Chen Haoxian's warm gesture made Chen Yuna feel so happy, so sweet, and what made her feel most happy was Chen Haoxian's words, "My Nana." Chen Haoxian turned around, reached out and pushed Zhou Kexin, who was still crying on the desk, and faintly said, "Hey, don't you cry." I'll cry, I want you to care." "Whoa." Zhou Kexin didn't look up and cried. Chen Haoxian saw that Zhou Kexin was still crying, so he took out a lollipop from Chen Yuna's bag, which Chen Yuna had bought on the side of the road when she came to school today. Chen Haoxian handed the lollipop next to Zhou Kexin and spoke out again, "If you don't cry, I'll give you this." Zhou Kexin curiously deviated her head. When she saw the lollipop that Chen Haoxian was holding, she couldn't help but puff out a laugh and cry, "Take a lollipop to coax me, you think I'm a child?" When he saw Zhou Kexin crying, Chen Haoxian thought of a saying, "The lonely jade face is dried up with tears, and the pear blossoms bring rain in spring." I didn't expect Zhou Kexin's weeping appearance to be so beautiful. "Are you married yet?" Chen Haoxian suddenly asked a topic that was not compatible with Zhou Kexin's crying. "I'm still a student, how could I be married?" Zhou Kexin took a look at Chen Haoxian. "That's right, if you're not married, you're a child, and it's only natural for a child to eat a lollipop. Let me tell you, this lollipop isn't just any lollipop, he's old and expensive, a single one costs 1,000 RMB, and it's still marketable and priceless. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll give you one." Chen Haoxian acted as if he was very generous and handed the lollipop to Zhou Kexin. But in his heart, he said, "The lollipops I've taken are as much as I say they are, so it's only natural that there's a market for them. Is it really that expensive?" Zhou Kexin looked at Chen Haoxian Dao with curious eyes, and her hand divinely took the lollipop Chen Haoxian handed her. "Of course, if you don't believe me, have a taste." Chen Haoxian was serious, and Zhou Kexin actually unwrapped the outside of the lollipop and put the lollipop in her mouth. "It seems to be quite delicious." Zhou Kexin sweetly, "In fact, this is a very ordinary lollipop, 50 cents a piece, only Zhou Kexin is a child of a rich family. When she was a child she would eat some, but since she went to junior high school she has never used it again, so the taste of the lollipop she has long forgotten. Now again to taste the taste of the lollipop, of course she will feel the taste is very good, after all, sweet things girls like to eat." Chen Yuna was lying on her desk, constantly sneaking smiles. She really convinced her brother Xian to take a lollipop to coax their school flower, and their school flower even believed it. Seeing Zhou Kexin's appearance, everyone in class 8 was speechless. Just now they were crying so sadly, but after Chen Haoxian handed her a lollipop, she stopped crying, if not for the residual tears on Zhou Kexin's face, beating them to death. They didn't believe that their school flower was so easy to coax. In fact, Zhou Kexin was also a very stubborn person, and the reason why it was so easy for Chen Hahuan to make her stop crying was because Chen Hahuan drew the conversation out of the way so that Zhou Kexin would forget about being sad. I got it, look, she's not crying. Chen Hoxuan turned his head to smile at Chen Yuna. Chen Yuna put her finger to her mouth and whispered, "Shh, don't let her hear you." Unfortunately, Yuna Chen's reminder was too late. Zhou Kexin had already heard Chen Hoxuan's words, and she took the lollipop out of her mouth, staring at the lollipop, and said, "No. Wasn't I crying?" Reacting, Zhou Kangzhen still wanted to cry, but for some reason just couldn't, probably because the sadness in her heart had already been melted by the sweetness of the lollipop. Zhou Kexin simply put the lollipop into her mouth again and held it in her mouth. She comforted herself in her heart, "Eat 1,000 yuan lollipop from him, it's even." I wonder how Zhou Kexin would feel if she knew that the lollipop she had in her mouth was only 50 cents. "Nana, let's go out and play." Chen felt too bored in the classroom, so he wanted to go outside and see the campus of this century. Yeah. Chen Yuna was delighted, and after that she even gave Zhou Kexin a proud glance, a look that seemed to say, "See. My brother Xian likes me, what's the use of you being pretty, huh?" Zhou Kexin seemed to know that Chen Yuna was provoking her, so she stood up and spoke out, "I'll go too." "Don't bother with you," Chen Hoxuan faintly said, and after saying that, he walked outside. Chen Yuna hurried to catch up with Chen Hoxuan, and she whispered to Zhou Kexin as she passed him, "Brother Xian doesn't like rich girls, so you should just die." Zhou Kexin pouted her mouth in aggravation, hearing Chen Yuna's words, and then remembering Chen Hoxuan's coldness towards her, she retreated. She was really embarrassed to pester Chen Hoxuan anymore because she felt so cheap like this. After Chen Hoxuan left the classroom, He Haoming made a move. He stood up and walked towards Zhou Kexin with a smile on his face. After Zhou Kexin saw He Haoming walking towards her, she immediately stood up and ran outside with a loud voice, "Chen Hoxuan, wait for me." Her words were deliberately said to He Haoming. "Btch man." He Haoming looked at Zhou Kexin's departing back and muttered, "What is this place for? Hey, what's that place? There are so many people. Wow, this is the garden. So beautiful." Chen Haoxian was like a curious baby who would ask anything he saw. Chen didn't know that there was a beautiful girl following her secretly behind him. It was none other than Zhou Kexin, who had just confessed to Chen in the classroom. Chapter 9. Have you heard? School flower Zhou Kexin confessed to Chen Haoxian today. "I can't believe that Zhou Kexin, a rich girl from a rich family, would like a loser. What do you know, all the rich girls nowadays like little white faces. If you were as handsome as Chen Haoxian, maybe Zhou Kexin would have confessed to you." Big news, Sophomore Business Administration Department Zhou Kexin confessed to their class Chen Haoxian. I heard that they were also rejected by Chen Haoxian. New City University major events, with the appearance of the closed moon shy of flowers, sinking fish fallen geese face of the school flower Zhou Kexin confessed to the jade tree, looks like pennon but very useless Chen Haoxian, but guess what the result? Well. As a result, Chen Hoxuan rejected Zhou Kexin without even thinking about it, and for that Zhou Kexin was so sad that she cried, and I heard that Zhou Kexin ran out of the classroom crying after class, and I don't know if she couldn't think straight. Big news, Zhou Kexin is missing. The news about Zhou Kexin and Chen Hoxuan spread throughout the entire Xinshan City University in a short period of time, and it's good to have the internet, so you can know everything in the shortest possible time. The matter of Chen Hoxuan and Zhou Kexin was spoofed by some students, creating all sorts of scenarios to spread out, causing some of Zhou Kexin's suitors to look for Zhou Kexin all over campus. Ringing, Zhou Kexin's phone suddenly rang. Zhou Kexin even pulled out her phone and pressed the answer button. She was now only 10 meters away from Chen Hoxuan. She didn't want Chen Hoxuan to find out that she was following him. "Hello. Kexin, don't think about it. It's just a little white guy, isn't it? There's a big world out there, So why hang yourself from a tree? An anxious voice came out of the phone. A question mark popped up on top of Joe Kexon's head, that kind of thing? How come she didn't understand a word of it? Hualing Wei, what the hell are you talking about? How come I can't understand a word of it? Joe Kexon was torn. Coxon, it's already this time and you're still lying. Now the whole school knows that you couldn't think straight after being rejected by Chen Hoxuan, and now you don't know where you're hiding and trying to commit suicide. Kxin. You should listen to your good sister's words this time anyway. Why hang yourself on a tree when there is no grass anywhere in the world? Worried voices came out of the phone. Now Joe Kexon finally understood that it was her confession to Chen Haoxian that had spread. She was rejected by Chen Haoxian, but she didn't want to commit suicide. What's going on here? Vivian, you don't know how annoying that he Haoming in our class was, pestering me every day. I couldn't help it, so I used Chen Haoming as a shield, pretending, not really, but I didn't expect that Chen Haoming to reject me. As for why people outside are talking about my suicide, I don't know what's going on. You too, you don't think about who I am. How could I go kill myself for Chen Haoxian? Joe Coxon explained. So where are you now? Doing what? I'm in the school garden and I'm going back. Joe Kexon squeaked. It was almost time for class. Chen Yuna and Chen Haoxian slowly walked back to the classroom. On the way back, many people were pointing fingers at Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian didn't care because he thought that it was because the previous Chen Haoxian must have done some sensational things, so these people were pointing fingers at him. When Chen Haoxian returned to the classroom, Joe Kexon was still doing the same position he had just been in. Chen Haoxian turned his head to Chen Yuna. Nana, let's go sit on the left, you go over first and I'll go get my bag. Chen Yuna responded sweetly. Chen Hoxuan's choice made her happy. She didn't have to worry about Chen Hoxuan leaving her anymore. Chen Haoxian walked to the spot where he and Chen Yuna were sitting before, and he took his and Chen Yuna's school bags and left. Chen Haoxian and their school bags were all satchels. Do I make you this annoying? Joe Kxin, who was pretending to read a book, suddenly spoke out. You wanted he Haoming to stop pestering you, so you used me as a shield. Have you ever thought about what if he Haoming hurts me because he wants to get you? You're fine, but what about me? I might get maimed by him, I might get killed in secret. Will you be responsible? Have you thought about the consequences? So you should know whether I please you or not. Chen Haoxian said and also ignored Joe Kexon, carrying 2 school bags to Chen Yuna. Joe Kexon dumbfoundedly looked at Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian said something she hadn't really thought about. She now felt guilty. Chen Haoxian was right. If something happened to him, who would be responsible? She now realized that Chen Haoxian was smart, smarter than all of her, because what she hadn't even thought of, Chen Haoxian had thought of. After the bell rang, a middle-aged woman with glasses walked into the classroom. This should be the teacher Shen that Chen Haoxian's class teacher said, because she looked towards the end of the classroom as soon as she came in. Obviously she was commissioned by Chen Haoxian's class teacher to see if Joe Kexon was still crying or not. This morning when class Chen Haoxian are asleep over, the morning class are finished, Chen Yuna took Chen Haoxian to the school's dining hall. Chen Yuna ordered all the dishes are vegetarian. Chen Haoxian asked her why she only ordered vegetarian dishes, but Chen Yuna told him that she is losing weight. Chen Haoxian knew that Chen Yuna was trying to save money, so he ordered so many non-vegetarian dishes that the plates could not fit. After choosing a table, Chen Haoxian placed his plate on the dining table, and then kept putting the non-vegetarian dishes on his plate into Chen Yuna's plate. You're so skinny, you should eat more nutritious things. Chen Haoxian smiled. No, brother Xian, no need to clip it for me, I'm really losing weight. Chen Yuna was embarrassed. She was very touched by Chen Haoxian's kindness to him. As much as I clip to you, you can give me as much as you want to eat, otherwise brother Xian, I'll be angry. Chen Haoxian was serious to Chen Yuna. Outside of the dining hall, Zhou Kexin walked towards the dining hall as she explained to her best friend Hua Lingwei about her and Chen Haoxian. When Zhou Kangzhen and the others finished their dishes, the inside of the dining hall was already crowded with people. "Coxin, let's go over there and find out if there's still room," Hua Lingwei said to Zhou Kexin. At this time, a person sitting next to Chen Haoxian was full and stood up to leave. Hua Lingwei saw this and immediately pulled Zhou Kexin over at a trot. "Only one seat, Coxin, you sit first, I'll wait." Hua Lingwei was very righteous enough to Zhou Kexin. "It's better if you go first. I'm not hungry," Zhou Kexin said to Hua Lingwei. Chen Haoxian heard a familiar voice and looked back. Zhou Kexin. Chapter 10. Chen Haoxian. Zhou Kexin also exclaimed at the same time when she saw Chen Haoxian. "Chen Haoxian, I was looking for you. You said, why are you bullying our family, although our family's cocaine is a bit wrong, but how can you as a boy bully a weak girl?" Hua Lingwei slapped her handsome face and seriously spoke to Chen Haoxian. Chen Haoxian did not reply to Hua Lingwei's topic, but looked at Hua Lingwei and said, "You're beautiful, yo." "That's right, I'm the recognized flower of the University of New Hill, can I not be beautiful?" "No, it's not. What I'm asking is why you're bullying RKXIN, no digressing, answer quickly." Hua Lingwei reacted and seriously addressed Chen Haoxian. "Can you tell me your name?" Chen Haoxian said, unrelated to Zhou Kexin's topic again. You don't even know, I doubt you're from Earth, ask anyone who doesn't know me." Hua Lingwei. Hua Lingwei exhaled, "Also all celebrities, I know your name, but you don't know mine, isn't that looking down on me?" "Of course I remember, I was just joking with you. But I didn't think you were so cute when you were angry, especially when you pout your little lips, old cute." "Oh, you're such a sweet mouth, picking up on what other people like to hear." "It also depends on who it's to, if she doesn't have any good qualities in her, I wouldn't have the ability or the mood to praise her even if I wanted to. You, on the other hand, are different. As soon as I saw you just now, I couldn't help but feel refreshed, self-conscious of my 7 meridians and 8 veins, and my 7 apertures have opened up 6.5. Since ancient times, beautiful women are easy to come by, but there are very few who occupy the word temperament, but you are young enough to have the appearance of a closed moon shy flower and the face of a sinking fish. It is really hard for me to forget your beauty." Hua Lingwei smiled, the smile was so sweet, being praised by anyone would make anyone happy, especially by a handsome man. She was now being praised by Chen Haoxian so much that she completely forgot that she had come to find Chen Haoxian to comment on Zhou Kexin. Zhou Kexin's heart was so angry. Even though she knew that her best friend was a girl who loved to be praised, she couldn't leave her alone. Wasn't that an act of outright ignoring her? Zhou Kexin simply left with her plate, secretly angry in her heart. Dead Vivian, see it all guy, let you chat all you want, ignore you." Seeing Zhou Kexin leave, so Chen Haoxian smilingly said to Hua Lingwei, "Your family's Kexin is gone." Kexin has left?" "No. She's right next to me." Hua Lingwei turned her head to see where there was still Zhou Kexin, and looking at the door, she saw that she was heading out of the dining hall. Hua Lingwei handed the plate to the front of Chen Haoxian's table and said, "I haven't eaten yet, my family's Kexin left, I don't have time to eat, so I'll give it to you to eat. Bye-bye handsome." After saying that, he trotted off to chase after Zhou Kexin. Chen Haoxian was also rude and shared the food from Hua Lingwei's plate with Chen Yuna and the two of them. "Brother Xian, when did you become so cunning?" Chen Yuna suddenly asked to Chen Haoxian. "Cunning? No. I'm very honest, so honest that I can't even bear to bully an ant." Chen Haoxian joked. "Brother Xian, I feel like you've become smarter since you lost your memory. But that's good, if you're smart, you won't be bullied by others anymore. Chen Yuna sighed, thinking back to the past. Chen Yuna couldn't even help but feel pity for Chen Haoxian, because of his good looks and cowardice, which made many boys think that a wimp shouldn't be so good looking, so those boys who couldn't see past that often bullied Chen Haoxian. I should be considered a blessing in disguise. Chen Haoxian smiled faintly. In a garden on the other side, Hua Lingwei begged bitterly, Kxian, please forgive me this time. I really didn't mean to ignore you. If it wasn't for that dead Chen Haoxian who specializes in picking the compliments people like to hear, I wouldn't have forgotten you, so please forgive me, okay? Seeing a guy who forgets his friends, I've already decided that I'm going to cut you off, Zhou Kexin joked. Kosin, don't. At most people use the Dream skincare cream with you. Hua Lingwei shook Zhou Kexin's hand petulantly. The Dream Skin Cream was a gift that her aunt brought back to her from me. This Dream Skin Cream was not cheap, it was worth 10,000 RMB, the most important thing was that it was something that had a price and needed to be ordered in order to buy the road. This is what you said, no going back on your word. Zhou Kexin was happy, she had wanted to use Hua Lingwei's bottle of Dream Skin Cream for a long time, but Hua Lingwei was stingy and just wouldn't let her use it. That's why she was so happy now when she heard Hua Lingwei say that she was sharing it with her. All right. When have my words ever not counted? I'm asking you now, that Chen Haoxian in your class, didn't everyone else say he was a loser? Why is it that when I was just talking to him I didn't feel like he was what people said he was, instead I felt like he was smart and knew how to cheer up a girl? Hua Lingwei asked curiously. I don't really understand this either, I only found out this morning. But I heard that yesterday, Chen Haoxian beat up Zhu Tian and ran away after the beating, not even daring to go to class. I don't know why Zhu Tian didn't come today, but Chen Haoxian did, and he was completely changed, dressed neatly, walking like a very important person, and his hair was all combed backwards, and he was handsome and spirited, many times better looking than before. I think he must have acted crazy for some reason before, maybe now that he's figured it out he's starting to be himself, or else how did he change so much all of a sudden? Zhou Kexin analyzed. So he's a very good storyteller then. Hua Lingwei pondered. I guess so. Zhou Kexin sat on a bench in the garden, propping up her chin. Kexin, I see you just saw Chen Haoxian constantly complimenting me on my good looks and you're angry, you're not going to fake it and fall in love with him, are you? Hua Lingwei questioned to Zhou Kexin. Why Wei, what are you talking about? How could I have fallen for someone as arrogant as him? Besides, even if I liked my family, I wouldn't say yes. Zhou Kxian explained nervously, as if she was very afraid that Hua Lingwei would misunderstand her. It could be that Chen Haoxian was really attractive, which made Zhou Kexin and Hua Lingwei, the two school girls, discuss Chen Haoxian in the garden all afternoon. In the afternoon, Chen Haoxian only had one class. Chen Haoxian did not want to listen to those old-fashioned teachers lecture anymore, so he borrowed some books from the library to pass the time in class. In class Chen Haoxian still didn't know that in a certain school, there was a sunny and cute girl who was promoting his deeds to a group of girls full of youth. This girl was Huang Meilin, the student Chen Haoxian was tutoring, teaching last night. It's true, he's really old and handsome, and plays the piano very well. If you don't believe me you guys go to my house today to see, I guarantee you'll be so handsome that you'll be crazy. Huang Meilin seriously to her best friend.